Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Music Lyrics Explained 6. Alright, the song today is by Baz Luhrmann, and it's Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. Alright, Baz Luhrmann is an Australian film director. He is more famous for creating the musical film of Romeo and Juliet, like in the 1990s. That had Leonardo DiCaprio in it. But here he actually helped the author of this advice that's given in this song to help make it into a record, to help make it into a song. So let's continue here. The famous words of advice was actually written by a female journalist named Mary Schmich. All right, so actually this song is presented like maybe a man, a wise man who's giving advice to a graduating class of a university. And he's giving the graduation, speech. He's giving a speech to them, giving them advice about the future. So, to be honest, this may be a longer than usual video for me anyway. So if it's any of my students, you should actually, if it's too long for you, you should really watch this over again, because it has a lot of what we would call pearls of wisdom in it. And it has a lot of advice that you might like in it. And if you could get to understand this song yourself, I think you would like it. It was really, originally came out in the late 1990s, I think 1999. And it became a hit right away. Originally, though, it was actually an article written in a magazine. So this woman, the famous words of advice, was actually written by a female journalist named Mary Schmich. She got the idea to write a mock graduation speech. Yeah, I'm almost a little disappointed to find out it wasn't actually a real graduation speech. To be honest, myself, when I graduated from university, I really don't remember who the speaker was. I don't remember one word of whatever he spoke about, but it would be pretty impressive if I got a speech that was like this. And this journalist, I read about how she started it. It was one spring day, and I think it was a hot day and she's seen a girl sunbathing, and she thought to herself, oh, I hope that girl's wearing sunscreen. And then it was around the time that, graduation would be soon, and she got an idea, well, if I was ever giving a speech to a graduating class, what advice would I give them? And then she wrote an article about it that became very famous. It got quickly passed around the internet. And this Australian director actually contacted her about the idea of making it into an actual song, and it turned out to be a big hit. All right, so let's continue. So she got the idea to write a mock graduation speech for her column. She's got a column in a magazine. A rumor had spread around the internet which gave credit to famous author Kurt Vonnegut. So he's a famous author, and a lot of people were giving him credit, but it was really this woman, female journalist. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get right into it, and like usual, I will read it. Now, this one, I'm not really going to be hymning it so much, because actually the words in this song are actually spoken just like normal, but then they have music behind it, and it sounds really cool. So after I explain it and you understand the lyrics to it, you might want to check it out yourself. Okay, but let me start, just like usual. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1999, or the class of 99, that's basically what he said. Wear sunscreen. So that's the first advice that he gives them. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, so only one piece of advice for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis reliable than my own meandering experience. So he's saying, scientists, that could be proven, but the advice I give you, well, this cannot really be proven. It's just from my own experience. And he's just going on giving about life advice. I will dispense this advice now. Well, remember here, if we say to dispense means to provide or supply something to someone as a service. And of course, when he says from my own meandering experience, it means meander means to talk or write for a long time, often changing subjects. So she's going to be talking about her own meandering experience. So I'll read that line again. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable, more dependable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind, because figuring that you're young, you don't know. You won't understand. And that's what she says. You will not understand. The power and beauty of your youth until they have failed. So until they're gone. So you'll never really understand how the power and the beauty of your youth, what it could do for you. Okay. Yeah. And recall, but trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall. Recall, of course, means remember, in a way that you can't grasp now, so that you can't understand now. Because you're young now, and you think probably you'll always stay young. But in 20 years from now, you'll probably look at old photos and say, wow, I looked pretty good back then. Wow, I could have done so much. So, but trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now the possibility that lay before you. So, all the potential, basically, that you have. And how fabulous you really look, how good you really look, in your youth, of course. You are not as fat as you imagine. That's another thing I read about this, too, because a lot of people questioned, when he was giving this speech. There's some lines in here that, even though they have a man talking, there's some lines that a lot of people think usually only a woman would say this. So this is a line that a woman will say, and this is what the journalists say. So, you are not as fat as you imagine. Okay. Don't worry about the future, but know that worrying is as effective, as successful, as trying to solve an algebra equation, a math problem, basically, by chewing bubblegum, which means you can't solve a math problem by chewing bubblegum. So don't worry about it. No point in trying to do it. The real troubles in your life are apt to be. Remember, apt to be means likely to be. To be things that never crossed your mind, mean things that you would never imagine, that never crossed your worried mind. The kind that blindside you. Remember here, if we say to blindside, it means to catch someone unaware, surprise someone in a negative way. Blindside is also, we also use this in driving too. So when you're driving and there's that part of the car where you can't see what's coming, you could be that's your blind side. So if something blindsides you, it hits you by surprise. Okay, so the real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never cross your worried mind, the kind that blindside you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. All right, here if we say idle, frivolous or trivial, or it was not supposed to be any sort of a significant day. That's what they mean. So it could be any day that something surprisingly bad could happen to you or anyone. Do one thing every day that scares you. All right, that's one piece of advice. Sing, be happy. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. All right, remember, of course, if we say reckless means not thinking about the possible bad effects of your actions. Yeah, I mean, I've actually known a good friend of mine that I think for a while in his life, he was a bit reckless with some of the women's hearts, and something bad happened to him later, and I always wondered if that was bad karma that he created. So anyway, this is a good piece of advice. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with, meaning don't bear, don't stand, with people who are reckless with yours. Floss, all right, she throws that in, floss, take care of your teeth, take care of your health. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. So sometimes you're doing better in your life, sometimes you're not doing so well. The race is long, meaning, well, your whole life is the race. The race is long. And in the end, it's only with yourself. So don't be around comparing yourself to others. Realize the race is with you, to improve yourself. Remember the compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Yeah, well, meaning this is not easy. Even for her, who is the author, she don't know how to do it, but she knows that's probably what you should do. But this is not an easy thing to do. So this is one of the things that easier said than done. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your bank statements. Stretch. Feel good, stretching. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with the rest of their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. So that may not be the most important part of your life. Okay, let's continue. Get plenty of calcium. All right, another thing about your health. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Yeah, so if you're on your knees too much, if they wear out and you have trouble walking, so be kind to your knees. Maybe you'll, and this is how the song goes. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken. So a lot of things could happen in your life, Don't try to judge yourself too much that you didn't accomplish some of these things. All right, like I said, maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken. Well, that's like a ridiculous dance, Dance the funky chicken at your 75th wedding anniversary. So if you make it that long, the funky chicken, some sort of stupid, ridiculous dance. So basically, don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself and laugh at yourself. I guess that's what she's trying to tell you. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much. So don't be too proud too much. Or berate yourself. Berate here basically, again, means like scold or talk in an angry way to somebody because they did something wrong, so don't put too much pressure and feel too guilty. We all make mistakes, basically. That's what she's saying. Okay. Yourself either. Your choices are half chance, meaning half luck. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. All right, so use your body. Use your body. Enjoy it. And then she goes on to say, dance, even if you have nowhere to do it, but in your own living room. So even if nobody else is around, nobody's seeing you, just dance on your own. Get it out, basically. Read the directions. Even if you don't follow them, well, that could be about anything else in life that you're doing. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. All right. This is another thing usually only a woman would say. But it's a good point. It is kind of funny, too. So do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Because then you're comparing yourself to these beautiful models, whatever. Get to know your parents. You'll never know when they will be gone for good. For good meaning forever. Be nice to your siblings, to your brothers and sisters. They are the best link to your past. Okay. And the people most likely to stick with you, stay with you, help you in the future. Understand that friends come and go. So you may go through a lot of friends in your life. But for only the precious few, you should hold on. So you won't be able to hold on to all your friends as time go by. But maybe if you're lucky, you might end up having a few lifelong friends. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle. Well, bridge gaps, bring things closer. Or here we say bridge the gap between A and B, make it easier for people to communicate with each other, or maybe even try to move closer, closer to each other so it's not so difficult. So work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you too hard. Yeah, well, I know New York City well. And, people in New York City, they're usually very realistic, but, they have to put up with a lot of other crazy people. So a lot of times they're on guard, and sometimes they get a bad reputation for maybe not being the most polite. But still, it's an exciting city. You could learn a lot from it. It can make you street smart. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you too soft. You might become too liberal and think, life is, too easy. Travel. Again, you could learn a lot from traveling. Accept certain inalienable truths. Or remember, if we say something is inalienable, means that which may not be transferred or taken away. We often say that somebody has inalienable rights. So, this is just the way things are, or things that you can't take them away. Okay, yes. Accept certain inalienable truths about, life in general. Prices will rise. Well, that will always happen. Politicians will philander. So you'll always find some politician here having some sexual affairs. Politicians will philander. You too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable. Yeah, I remember when that only cost like 10 cents or 20 cents or something like that. And children respected their elders, elder people. Respect your elders. Well, that's some more advice for you. Be nice to older people. They went through a lot. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you'll have a trust fund, that would be like a certain amount of money somebody put away for you and somebody's managing for you and investing for you. That's like a trust fund. Maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. Or maybe you get lucky. Maybe you'll marry into wealth. But you never know. When either might run out or disappear on you. You never know what's going to happen in your life. It's truth. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. All right, this is another thing that probably a woman would say, but there's a lot of truth in this. The women that dye their hair constantly all the time, it will age your hair a lot quicker. So this is usually advice, that a woman would probably give. Be careful whose advice you buy. Remember here we say to buy means to believe or accept. But be patient with those who supply it. So if somebody's supplying it, listen to it. You never know. They might have something important to tell you. Advice is a form of nostalgia. All right, nostalgia, your thoughts of happy times in the past mixed with feelings of wanting to return to the past. So, yeah, if you remember in your life, so basically advice could be like that. It could be nostalgia. You'll remember when somebody gave you some good advice. Okay. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal. Well, remember here, if we say to fish, it means to try to find something by feeling inside a box or a container. So you're trying to do this with your life, with your memories. From the disposal, from the garbage can, basically, or something that's stored in the back of your mind. Wiping it off, cleaning it. Painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth, basically. But trust me on the sunscreen. So again, it goes back to the one that she's saying the scientists have proved. Anyway, that's basically it. I hope you got it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.